Hi, guys. Look at all these white people. This is so nice. Everybody, this is Beth Stern. Come on. American hero.
And my angel, Whitney Cummings, for doing this. Thank you.
I don't know who dropped out, but I'm glad to be here. And we're going to talk about your book. I know you've been talking about it so much on this press tour, but Beth already has a New York Times best-selling book already, but it's not a children's book. What made you decide to write a children's book this time?
Yeah, my first book 5 years ago called Oh My Dog, and it was a reference book for all things dog, when you have a dog in your life until the very end. And this time, I never intended to write a children's book, but something magical was happening in my house that was just too good not to share, and especially the message, I think, is so beautiful for children. And it all started with this rescue cat that we adopted from North Shore Animal League America. My husband named him Yoda. And if there's a picture of him, you will see why he's called Yoda. Do we have pictures of Yoda anywhere?
He's fat, basically. That's the main thing. He's like this white, fat. Oh, there's like an illustration from the front of the book.
From the book. But Yoda came into our house, and he was really sad, and there was something off about him. He had been sitting in the shelter at North Shore Animal League for months and months and months. We brought him home. I took him to our local vet, and the vet said, this guy has a really bad heart. He's in heart failure, and he basically has 3 to 6 months to live. So I took him to another vet specialist and another one, and everybody the same thing. This cat doesn't have long to be with you. So I thought, we're going to love him until his last day. We have 5 other adopted cats, so he fit right in with the group. Number 6. Can you believe we have 6 cats? It's crazy.
I'm glad that you're changing the image of the crazy cat ladies. So this is what the crazy cat ladies look like. It's no longer an insult to be a cat lady.
You should see me at home during foster season. All I'm doing is scooping litter boxes, and my hair is frizzy, so I am
Even
looking
that
like...
sounds sexy when you say it.
Love you. So Yoda was dying of a bad heart, and foster season rolled around. And my husband and I, what we do is we foster kittens. We take them from municipal shelters through North Shore Animal League America, and we basically take them off of the table right before they're about to be euthanized. And we bring them home, and we nurture them, and we get them ready for their forever families. So I wait till they're a certain weight, and I get them spayed and neutered.
You breastfeed them?
I breastfeed them, and then... Howard speaks about them on the radio, and they become instant rock stars, and we get them adopted, and which is such a beautiful formula that we figured out. You know, they come in our home.
She has the best Instagram. I wake up every morning to all these like sweet kittens. It's like Kim Kardashian's butt, and then like all these sweet kittens. So it's like you should follow her Instagram too, because you can see them all.
It's cute. You can see what's going on in our house pretty intimately, and you can see the kittens crawling through Howard's hair. It's really cute. So kitten season rolls around. We had our first litter of kittens. I think there were 5 of them in the foster room. Yoda walks down this long hallway, opened the door to the foster room. His eyes opened so wide, his tail perked up. He ran into the room. He literally started grooming all of the kittens. From that moment, he has not left the foster room. He makes sure they all eat. I can leave that door to the foster room open, and he'll go from behind them and corral them in. So I never have to worry about the kittens. He counts them. He sleeps with one eye open. He watches over these babies. So this is 7 foster litters later. And Yoda's still with us when he was given 3 to 6 months. It's 7.5 months later. I took him to the vet. He's officially off of his heart medication. His heart is healthy. And I truly believe that this love and purpose that he has with these kittens has healed his heart. So,
come on.
I'm getting emotional talking about it. And I've taken him back to all the different vets that told me that he was dying, and they've each said that they are baffled by this, but it truly is a miracle that's happening in my house right now. This cat is going to be with us hopefully for years and years and years.
The miracle is that Howard Stern is around kittens. I think that's the miracle you're talking about. That's so sweet.
So, and I wanted to share this with children. I thought, what a beautiful message. Love, be loved, and be happy. So I didn't want to tell children that this cat was basically given 3 to 6 months to live. So the book is about Yoda went to the vet and was diagnosed with a sad heart. And through this love and purpose and nurturing the children, he's now happy. So I think it's a really sweet thing to share with kids.
that Yoda's a pedophile. And I'm glad you wrote a children's book. You finally wrote a book that I can actually read. Thank you.
And you know the central character. The story, it revolves around a certain foster of mine that we just delivered to her forever family. Her name is Petunia.
Yes, Petunia.
And when you spent time with me, you spent time with Petunia.
Right, bad Petunia.
Bad Petunia. So it's really sweet. I think I'm really proud of this. And the best part about it, I love that you're the moderator and I'm just talking.
Oh, no.
100% of the proceeds are going to North Shore Animal League America, an expansion that we're helping to create.
Will you just tell us, amazing. Will you just tell us a little bit about North Shore Animal League for those of you that don't know?
Yeah, North Shore Animal League America is the world's largest no-kill rescue and adoption organization. Over 20,000 adoptions take place a year. I volunteer at their shelter in Port Washington on Long Island. I live for them. They are my life and my soul and what they do to nurture these animals. I'm so proud to be affiliated and to work with them through their foster program. They're just incredible, and I love their facility so much that I wanted to take it a step further and make it bigger. And Howard and I had a precious daughter, our bulldog of 9.5 years, Bianca, who passed away 2 years ago, and in her honor and in her memory.
Show us your Bianca tattoo.
I have a Bianca tattoo. My husband has one all up his arm. Aww. We want to call this new facility Bianca's Furry Friends, and what it's going to be is a cage-free habitat on the existing shelter, 15,000 square feet up. So that's going to be a cage-free home away from home for the cats that are looking for their families to adopt them. I feel that cats thrive in cage-free situations. And it's going to, in turn, free up the entire downstairs of the shelter for more puppy mill and adult dog rescues. So it's a win-win for cats and dogs. So that's what this book, Yoda, is helping me save more lives.
This is making me feel like a terrible person. I have done nothing for anyone today except for myself. And then this is actually a perfect time to be doing it because it's Christmas. This is such a good thing. Where can we buy the book? There's a Kindle. I just get confused. I don't know where to buy a book anymore. I mean, I'm illiterate. But in general, I don't know where to even...
Yeah, Barnes & Noble and then Amazon. It's you can order online. It's like guilt-free shopping because you're buying this book and it's going to save lives. It's kind of
And then
cool,
so is it available what day exactly?
Today. The book is out today. So you can go to Barnes &
Get
Noble
off of
today.
RedTube and buy this book, everybody. I love it. And where is Yoda now? I got to meet Yoda this morning. He is such a sweetheart.
Yoda is...
Still have white hair on me, but whatever.
I know. He's Persian. He's long hair. He's glorious. He's so beautiful. He's at home with 4 foster kittens, and I have to tell him, he'll be very excited tomorrow. I'm picking up 3 new babies. Somebody just found them under their shed, and they're at North Shore Animal League now, getting medically evaluated. Everybody's good to go, so I have 4 orange little nuggets at home that Howard named after the Beatles, and then we're picking up these other ones tomorrow, plus our 6 resident cats. Our Thanksgiving is going to be a lot of poop and litter boxes.
That is ridiculous. Kibbles and bits for Thanksgiving dinner.
And Howard does clean litter boxes. People don't believe it.
What?
It's true. It was so cute. I had to do press all day yesterday, and Howard was on Kitty Patrol and Yoda Patrol and the other cat patrol. And Yoda ate the kitten food, and so he had a bad case of the runs.
Right.
And I was away from the apartment when this happened, so I get this phone call from my husband. What do I do? You should see what's going on Yoda's backside. I said, well, you're going to have to give him a bum bath.
I have a feeling this is none of the language that was actually used. And you're using euphemisms for all of them. You should see what's going on Yoda's back. It was like bleep, 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 bleep.
So I was petrified at what I was going to come home to. But I got to say, I came home to the cleanest
backside
I have ever seen. Howard is meticulous.
Probably just like threw him in the pool or something. I can't imagine.
Oh my God, I couldn't even believe it. There's nothing here.
I mean, there's something amazing. Well, he was probably being neurotic and imagining it anyway.
Exactly.
But there's something so healing and transformative about having a rescue animal. You know, I always say, like... Yes.
Can we talk about your rescue?
Okay, she's a person, but she pretends to be a dog sometimes. I have a rescue pit bull named Ramona. If you don't know, then Google her. She needs a little more followers on Twitter, so please follow her. She's just, it's funny because people always say, like, you rescued her, that's so great, like, you're such a great person, which we all know is not true. So I don't think she rescued me. I always say I never rescued her. She rescued me.
You.
Like, I cannot live without her. There's just something about having a rescue that's just so amazing.
How long have you had Ramona?
I've had her for like a year and a couple months.
I don't even remember you without her.
I wasn't a person until I rescued this dog.
Crazy.
I just live for her. And there's something about rescue animals that I feel like they know. There's just this gratitude, this like unconditional love, gratitude thing going on.
And this feeling that we're talking about, you really cannot comprehend it unless you have a rescue.
Yeah, it's funny because I go to this dog park and it's all like rescues, and I'm always like, oh, where'd you get your dog? What shelter? And then recently this guy came over. He had this just beautiful dog, but I was like, oh, where'd you get that dog? It looked purebred, and I was like, And he was like, oh, a breeder in Texas or something. And like 5 of us were just like, and we just like walked away. Like we won't even talk to people who get dogs from
it is
breeders.
a fact though when you go to shelters. Like Yoda is a purebred Persian cat that somebody probably at one point spent $5,000 on him as a kitten, and meanwhile he was probably inbred, comes with all these problems. Probably that's where the heart problem started from. But you can go to a shelter, and if you have your heart set on a purebred, 25% of all shelters they're purebreds in there. So you can go to your local shelter and get a fancy
not
dog.
every animal in shelters are mutts,
right?
And, random breeds.
But what's better than the Mudigrees or pit bulls that get such a bad rap, and they're so sweet. It's just like, open your heart, take a chance, and look at the rewards you're going to get.
The best.
The best. I know. Go
You're
Yoda.
The best. I love you.
Go Yoda.
I think at some point I would love to keep embarrassing Beth and ruining her classy reputation, but I think we're going to take questions at some point. Is that right? Am I doing this? Am I fired?
You are so good, Whitney.
Am I doing okay? Okay, so we're going to take questions. Is that right? Okay. How's my lighting? How do I look? Am I supposed to be doing something? Or you're giving them a thing? All right, so now it's your problem. I'm doing my job. Questions. Great. Make it a good one.
Okay, I was just wondering, how close are you to building the kiddie center?
Well, this morning, Rachel Ray just handed me a check on my husband's radio show for $500,000.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Over the course of the last year, I think it was a year ago that we came up with this idea. We need $7 million. We're over halfway there. So we are on target to break ground at the end of next spring. And right now we're dealing with permits. So I feel if we build it, they will come. I'm really excited. Thank you.
I also wrote a check for $500,000, but it bounced. But I wrote it.
You wrote it.
My heart was there.
You wrote it.
More questions. Come on. There. There's one in the front.
Right here.
Hi, good morning. Hi. I use North Shore Animal League exclusively for my dogs. I have 2 Siberian Huskies that are rescues, one from Kentucky. It was a big, long story, but I use them exclusively for their veterinary care. And with the facility, are you talking about where they have the, it's pretty open now, they have that whole open center, but in the open center there, is that where they're going to have the kiddie free and then build on top of that?
We're going to build directly on top. I think it's over 14,000 square feet. And upstairs is going to be specifically for the felines. And there's going to be a wellness center as well in there. And a nursery. There's going to be different rooms designated for different types of cats. But every cat will be out of the cage. And then the downstairs, their existing shelter, which we are familiar with, where you got your dogs, the entire downstairs is going to be structured to benefit the dogs and the puppies. So it's a win-win. The dogs and the cats benefit. Bianca's furry friends.
Cannot wait. Sir.
Hello.
Shalom.
Hello, shalom. What was your first rescue animal?
Oh, she was already a member of the family before I was born. Her name was Susie Dog, and she was a huge collie Mudigree mix. And my parents treated her like a member of the family. I think she treated Susie Dog better than she treated me. Just kidding. But and growing up, we always had dogs. We always had cats. So I'm equal opportunity dogs, cats. I'm not a dog person. I'm not a cat person. Guinea pigs, chickens at one point. So we're just all about animals and rescuing. And now I started to get involved with the wildlife rescue out in the Hamptons, where I took the course on how to transport an animal to the rehabilitation center. And there was a gull that we took in last, I guess it was 2 summers ago, and we took it to be rehabilitated. It was completely emaciated. It was wrapped in fishing wire. And after about 6 weeks, I was able to get the seagull back and release it back where I found him. And it was the most amazing thing ever. And from that point on, I've not been able to eat chicken or turkey. So this is going to be a bird-free Thanksgiving for us. But
you're like, I have the bird flu, but the gull survived. And this one, don't get it twisted. Like when I was with you at your house, like 2 summers ago, there was like a deer. We saw like a deer in the road.
Oh, yeah.
And when she sees an animal in danger, she goes from like beautiful angel to like badass mafia bitch. She was like, stop the car! And like you were like, I was like, oh my God, like it was crazy.
Well, it's incredible when you can save one. I mean, a lot of times I haven't had good luck, or it's been just a little too late. But when you can save an animal in the wild, it is such an incredible feeling. It's just really beautiful, and that's what I say. If you see a hurt animal on the side of the road, or in your lawn, you can make a phone call, and there are local rehab centers that you can call, and they'll even come to you. That's what I do. I go to the people's yards, and I take the animal and transport them to the
Careful,
center.
I think people are going to start faking finding harmed animals just so that you'll show up.
Howard's my driver because I don't drive. I haven't driven a car in 25 years. I'm afraid of driving. So whenever I get a bird or a squirrel or whatever to transport, I'm in the back seat with my kit in the box, and Howard's driving me. Can you imagine?
Will you please put a camera in that car? That is ridiculous.
Howard is my partner in all of my rescue work. He is right beside me when I foster these animals. He helps me spread the word. I really could not have the luxury of fulfilling my bliss if it weren't for Howard. He's given me a life where I can really spend my days doing what I want to do, and that's just being with animals and helping animals.
You should do a book about Howard, how he got a heart from you.
Howard saved my heart.
Yes. No, you saved his. Like
saved each other.
He was Yoda and you were the kittens. More questions, sir.
Hi there. Baba Booey to you both. Nobody got that.
Hey now.
So pit bulls do get a bad rap for sure, and they're often mistreated really badly, right, by their owners. Is there anything being done about that? Is there education, different laws?
This is a really good question for Whitney because she's very involved in rescue with the pit bulls.
Yeah, so my plan is to kidnap all of them. That's what I'm working on essentially right now. But there's an organization I work with called Stand Up for Pits, which this comedian Rebecca Corey puts together, and she's like put marches on Washington together to try to change, because there's actually legislation that says that like pit bulls can't be flown, they have to be sedated on certain, airlines, they can't even be in certain cities, they can get killed. And I mean, the prejudice is really fascinating, and it's not always been pit bulls. I think in the 80s it was like Dobermans, it was boxers for a while. Different animals have had different bad raps, but pit bulls, interestingly, like when I got a pit bull, she was like a puppy. I mean, she was 3 months when I got her, and then like at 6, 8 months, I would walk her around the neighborhood, and people would cross the street, a puppy, to get away from her. And I was like, oh, this is like a real thing, like an ingrained prejudice, and that really frustrated me because pit bulls actually were bred to care for children. They're incredibly nurturing. The only reason they have a bad rap is because, of course, they're fought, and people breed them to fight, and they have to defend themselves, and they're incredibly strong, So, I'm doing everything, that I can, and hopefully we'll get some legislation passed, and it's just about awareness. And thank God for Twitter and Instagram, and, everyone's able to kind of, I think the internet does a lot of bad things, but it also can be utilized for a lot of good things. So a lot of pit bull lovers and charities are able to kind of like unify and put positive images out there and stuff. If you go to my Instagram, I follow a ton of pit bull Instagram feeds where you can see pit bulls with babies and children and stuff. Like a friend of mine brought her 5-year-old over to my house, and it was so wild to see my pit bull Ramona follow, just instinctively she got down and was like following her around, like was obsessed with this child, and it was so amazing to see that neurology working, and to see they're not bred to kill. It's just the reason most of the times that pit bulls get bad raps is that when they do bite, they do more damage. So it's going to make more headlines. So if a Chihuahua bites you, it's probably not going to be like a big injury. But if a pit bull does, it's probably going to do some damage. But they really only do it when they have to protect themselves. So it's just like anything, you know, it's about sort of getting the awareness out there.
I feel like progress is being made, though.
I think so too.
Strides,
I think so too. You know, it's interesting because we have the privilege of living in New York and Los Angeles, where you sometimes see more progressive people. But as a comedian, I travel around a lot, and I do see, you know, some ignorance. But you know, there's ignorance about a ton of things in this country. But we're seeing a lot of progress, you know, in other areas. So it's just about keeping it out there, doing exactly what Beth is doing. Maybe I'll write a children's book about Ramona. Will you write it?
Come on, I'll do this for you.
Oh my gosh.
Let's do it.
Okay, but I'm not a good person.
She's a really good person.
100% of the proceeds go to me. My rent charity. But yeah, thank you for asking that. It's really tricky. I tried to fly my pit bull to New York actually last time I was here, remember?
Yep.
And I don't remember what airline it was. You can check my Twitter feed because I was trashing them on Twitter. I think it was American Airlines. American Airlines. I'm sorry if they're a sponsor. I love you. Actually, and
I hope it was American Airlines.
They wanted me to sedate the dog for a 5-hour flight, which there's a really high death rate for flying dogs when they're in the crates and moving around. So they wanted me to fully sedate it and bolt it down, and it was just like, it was crazy. You know, and in the United Kingdom, pit bulls are totally outlawed. They'll kill them if you even bring them over there. So it's not just America. You know, it's a big stereotype, you know, that we're working on. But they're the best dogs in the world. I highly, highly recommend adopting pit bulls. They're amazing.
There's some at North Shore Animal League right now. I was just there the other day.
Give them to me.
Yeah, some beautiful ones. A lot of mixes, but beautiful, beautiful, sweet, sweet dogs.
Yeah.
Really.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
No jokes, just love.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you give us an example with the amount of animals that you care for a day, your typical schedule hour-wise?
Oh, wow. It's a full-time job. Since a year ago, last June, we have fostered over 90 cats and kittens. So my day is as follows. I wake up, I have 6 resident cats. They're number 1, they get fed first. And then I work my way over to the foster room where Yoda is always with the kittens. And it is cleaning litter boxes. And I've had 11 fosters at one time, at one point at the beginning of the summer. And that's a lot of poop to clean out of litter boxes. And then the feedings, and I also administer medication for a lot of the kittens come to me sick with upper respiratories, or any kind of little colds that they have, antibiotics. Then it's the vet visits. They have kitten vaccinations. So when they're with me, anywhere from 2 to 4 months I'm with them. I had a mother cat who was nursing her babies, gave birth, and was nursing her babies in our home. So it all depends on the situation of which kitten is going through what. But it is a full-time job because once you do one feeding, once you clean litter boxes, 2 hours later it starts all over again. So, of course, as soon as you clean the litter box, that's when they all want to poop again. But
11 at one time.
We had 11 plus my 6, and I have to tell you, my house does not smell, and you can attest to that. We really keep it clean. I think that's important. Kittens need to be fed all the time, and they have such energy. So you have to stimulate them. I socialize them. They're crazy. I have to socialize them. I always invite my friends and their children over, so the kittens are used to being handled by children. I have my friends bring their dogs over, so I can give them to a family that has a dog. So I spend my days just caring for, nurturing, loving, and socializing kittens, and I love it. It's a really tough job, but someone's got to do it.
That's a really eloquent way of saying I'm a hoarder.
I'm a hoarder. No, I do find homes for them.
You should be on an episode of Hoarders.
You are bad. You are bad. No, it's fostering. And we do need more fosters out there. So if somebody thinks that they can do that, even during kitten season or one litter.
Yeah, what is that responsibility? Like if people just want to help foster, how do you do that?
Go through a local organization, talk to one of your local shelters and ask how you can get involved. And what they'll probably do is give you a litter of kittens. And you can tell them how much you want to do. There are some that need to be bottle fed, but that's every 2 hours all through the night. But I take them once. Howard would never stand for me bottle feeding, although I think I'm going to do my first litter next summer. So that's a whole thing. But once the animal comes into your home, it is a commitment. but it's so rewarding. And usually when they're ready, when they're at a certain weight where they can be spayed and neutered, most shelter, North Shore Animal League takes care of that before they're adopted into their homes. So we make sure they're at the right weight, we do that, and then it's time for them to be delivered. So it's a whole process.
So it's like if
and
you
can
can't really commit to having a cat for good, but still want to be able to foster.
And it's really, really rewarding. I'm very lucky in that once I bring them into my home, they never go back to a shelter. So I find the homes through my husband's radio show, through my Instagram, through my Twitter.
Beth Stern, right?
At Beth Stern, yes. Stern. And people can apply to adopt any of my fosters. So they go directly from North Shore Animal League to be medically evaluated to my home into their forever homes. Whereas most fosters take the babies out of the shelter until they're strong enough and ready to be adopted, and they go back to the shelter. So that's really hard to say goodbye when I know I'm giving them to amazing families, but to give them back to the shelter, it's really hard for a lot of people. You have to be strong to do it, but each time you do it, you know that you're helping to save lives, and these kittens wouldn't have had chances otherwise. So you're saving lives, and you have fun doing it. They're little, beautiful kittens.
Get some good karma. Any other questions?
So good karma.
Yes? Sir? Oh, you need a mic. Oh, you're holding the book. He has a copy of the book.
Oh, you have it.
Can I have
It's
that?
great, by the way. I read the whole thing just before you came.
Thank you. Took you 2 minutes.
My question for you was, what type of criteria do you look for in the families that are going to be adopting them? I'm sure you get a lot of requests.
I do.
So, do you have a list of different things?
Yeah, I really sift through them, and I work very closely with my people at North Shore Animal League America. They have a very thorough screening process. I'm even more picky with my fosters. I really want to know the families, what their history with other pets are. I deliver the kittens and make sure that they are in a home that I see fit for an animal. I mean, sometimes... Yeah, but so far I have to knock on wood.
If that's not motivation,
that
Beth Stern comes to your house.
I come to your house. But it is, yes, it's a very thorough screening process. References, past history with pets, and I don't allow for any of my adopters. They sign a contract that they will never let the cat outside. I believe in being indoor. Their lives will definitely be prolonged. And then also I make people sign a contract that they will not declaw a kitten that comes into their home. So. Yeah, those are my criteria. You have to be really, really, really good people.
I'm going to ask one more.
You want a kitten?
One more.
This guy is pumped up.
Yeah, sorry. You guys have a limit to the number of kittens that you have in your home? Because it always seems like you have a constant flow of them coming in. And
yeah.
You know how Howard is. He might
No, Howard's fine. He's always like, bring them in. More the merrier. But
I think he was being sarcastic.
He's actually really okay with it. He lets me make the decisions on that. But for me personally, 11 kittens in the foster room is a lot of work. So I think that's my limit. But who knows? If there was a circumstance that somebody needed me, I'm never going to say no. As I say that, there's probably 10 litters of kittens sitting outside my doorstep right now. And it also, let me just say, it's freezing cold outside. I also take care of a feral colony outside of my house, and I have beautiful little houses with hay and heating pads in there. So if you see any cats that are outside, make it warm for them. It's so cold. I feed them twice a day. My ferals now are getting snobby about their food. Oh, yeah, amazing. Yeah.
Give an inch, take a mile.
Can you imagine? But anyway, that's my message. If you see these cats outside freezing, they probably are because it's freezing outside. Give a little help, put a little, there's structures, you can Google kitty condos or kitty houses online. They're so cheap, and you're helping to save their little lives, so.
Angel, Mother Teresa for animals. This is Beth Stern, you guys. Round of applause for Beth.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing this. That was one of the things I feel that we bonded initially was our love for animals, and that's why I was so grateful that you were here with me today.
Thank you for asking me to do this. I hope I didn't ruin anything.
I just want to sell a lot of books because the message is so beautiful, and the money is going towards saving more lives.
And it's such a good Christmas gift for your children. But don't be a bad father and get this book. And what else? Website, Twitter is Beth Stern. Instagram, Beth Stern.
Instagram is at Beth Stern, and to apply to adopt any of my fosters.
WhitneyCummings.com.
WhitneyCummings.com. BethSternFosters@gmail.com. And those are the emails that are, the serious ones are forwarded to me, and then I sift through them. Then I pick my favorites, and I'm already taking applications for my new fosters that are coming in this week.
And another way to donate to North Shore Animal League would be just to go to their website.
Go to their website, and if you're interested in donating directly to Bianca's Furry Friends,
just give me the cash now.
Just give Whitney the cash. There is a specific donate to Bianca's Furry Friends button, and that would just be beautiful. And I thank you all for being here, and so fun. Thank you. Thank you.